Please stand for the opening prayer and pledge. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to get together today as a body and as citizens of Hancock County. Guide us in making the right decisions for not only our employees, but also for the county residents. Look after us and give us wisdom. Thank you and amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hancock County Commission will come to order this 30th day of September at 1 p.m. Mr. Clerk, do a roll call, please.
Mr. President, we have two commissioners present, and Mr. Cowie is on the phone.
Thank you. Thank you. Being we have no tabled items before us today, we'll move on to new business. Consideration of approval to accept bid for pavilion project at Gas Valley Complex.
Mr. President Pro Tem, I would make a motion to accept one bid that we received. And if it's okay, I'll give a little background. We received a grant from the Puglisi Foundation of $25,000. The repairs that we need done or that we asked to have done are 3 parts: to replace uprights on the pavilion, second part to upgrade the electrical, and third part to improve the concrete, to make a concrete parking pad and a sidewalk that connects the parking pad to the pavilion, which would make the access for wheelchairs easier. We only received one bid, and that was for the concrete from Fiscardo Concrete of $17,485. They would pour a 20 by 20 parking pad and a sidewalk that would be 6 feet wide.
100 foot long.
Thank you.
Any further discussions or questions?
Was that the only bid that came in as far as just for the concrete only?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There still will be other, the commission will have to decide if we're going to go back out for bid again for the other items to be repaired. But being that this is the only bid that's before us today for the concrete work, that's the only action we can take. Any further questions? All in favor?
No, sir.
I'm sorry?
He said no.
Okay.
No, sir, no.
All in favor of accepting the bid from Fiscardo Concrete for the work to be done at the pavilion on Gas Valley, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Would this be an appropriate time to move to rerun the bid? To give people a little more time to see if they want to address the other repairs?
I wouldn't have any objection to that. I wouldn't see that would be a problem. That bid is on our website.
Yes, sir.
I think what we need to do is to change the dates on our website, and being that we're discussing it, we could probably go ahead. I wouldn't see a problem. We can verify it with Mr. Lucas. He's not on here. He's not here on the phone today, is he? Who is?
No, I'm here. It's really just up to you. If you want to bid it again, you should just make the motion just to alter the dates and set new guidelines. The other option would be, I don't know what your time parameters are in terms of if there's any grant money or anything else, with the weather coming, bad weather coming. At this point that you bid it out, if you want to try to just, contract privately for it, or directly, I should say, then you can do that. It's really just up to you. But if you want to bid it again, I would probably just make a motion just so you can have the new dates installed and deadlines.
Okay, that is my motion. I move to rebid after we adjust the dates and remove the concrete request.
Do we want to go ahead and pick a date for the acceptance, the deadline date for the new bids?
Can I do that? It needs to be a minimum of 3 weeks to get it in the paper and for it to run twice, which is our requirement. Friday, October 21st would be 4 weeks. Wait. Would be 3 weeks.
I would not be available for the 21st date if we were looking to have a meeting. If we wanted to move it to the 27th, I'd be available for that. That's a commission day meeting.
Okay, that's we'll make it that the 27th then will be the day that we open and consider bids.
You've heard the motion before us. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next item before us is consideration of approval to hire a position of part-time animal care technician.
I move to approve to hire Clara McIntosh and Becca Eagnall for the position of part-time animal care technician.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Number 3, consideration of merger of 2 positions, combining 911 director and OEM director into one position called 911 OEM director.
My motion is to merge the 2 director positions that we currently have. One of them is filled and one is not filled. And call the new position 911/OEM director.
Is there any discussion? Myself, I have several questions about the position. The position is partially funded through First Harbor, First Energy, the old First Energy. Also, the assignment, there may have been some discussions with individuals about this position, but I personally have not had the availability to speak with them. If this is something that no one has an objection to, I would ask for a brief recess to discuss this personnel issue, or we can leave it at the end of move it to the bottom of the agenda and come back to it after we finish the other business.
Because you want to talk to us about it today?
If I'm going to, yes, if I'm going to vote on it today, I need to have some questions answered.
I move that we take that down to the bottom and do that into executive discussion and executive session.
Okay, that item, the motion is to move it to the bottom of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next item before us is the consideration of approval to advertise for 911 dispatch director. The item before us is to consider of approval to advertise for a 911 dispatch director. For the third and final time, Do I hear a motion to consider of approval to advertise for 911 dispatch director? With hearing no motion, the item is dead. Moving on to number 5, consideration of approval to hire for a position of county administrator / IT director.
I'll say that we have received many applications and done many interviews, and we offered the job to somebody, and I'm not comfortable with that person any longer after I had some conversations with that person. So I have no motion to make other than to potentially table this.
Is your motion to table, or is your motion to do nothing? You
Do
said
nothing. My motion would be to do nothing.
okay. So before us today, we have the consideration of approval to hire for the position of county administrator / IT director. Is there a motion to hire an individual? I move that we hire an individual who we had interviewed and spoke with. His name is David Willie. David was one of 12 applicants that we interviewed. He did a fine job as well as the rest of them. I know the commission had also contacted him and offered him a position, but apparently there's been some discussion, as Commissioner Check has talked about. She's not comfortable in that right now. In saying that, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I'll say that the reason I'm not comfortable, even though there's not, the Ethics Commission has ruled that it would be okay and not a conflict, and they have given us that opinion in writing. It was not disclosed that there's a personal business relationship between his wife, Mr. Willie's wife, and Jeff Davis. And during the process, neither one of you brought that up. So after we offered him the job, we got the ethics opinion, which cleared everything, but now I don't trust a person, and I don't want to hire an administrator that I can't trust from day one. And the other reason I don't want to hire Mr. Willie is when I asked him, I called him and asked why he didn't bring that to light. He said, well, I also dated somebody in high school, just in case you find that relevant. And that showed me that how he is going to handle conflict, especially with me, and I do not want to work with a person like that, especially somebody that I have to trust over many sites and many departments.
Thank you. Any further discussion from Mr. Cowie?
No, not at this time.
For clarification, Dave Willie's wife and I do not have a business relationship. She is a part-time employee of mine. I saw no reason for that to be of any importance, no different than half of the applicants who applied for the job. Some I've been out to dinner with, some I've golfed with. When you live in a small community, you have some sort of a relationship with about everyone. And but when it was brought to my attention that it could be a conflict, I immediately contacted the Ethics Commission. They gave me a verbal. I asked for it in writing. They asked if I would submit that request in writing, and which I did. And they immediately replied and said there was absolutely no conflict with David Willie's wife working for myself. So I felt very comfortable as long as the Ethics Commission. But we are beyond that point right now. The motion on the floor back to the motion on the floor that I had made was to hire Mr. Willie for this position. And there's no further discussion. All in favor of hiring Mr. Willie, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No?
No?
Okay, let the record reflect that the vote was 2-1. Commissioner Davis, yes. Commissioner Check and Commissioner Cowie voting no. Moving on, we are back to the bottom of the agenda, where I'll accept the motion that we recess and go into executive session, recess, go into executive session for the purpose of discussing a personnel issue on the hiring of an individual. Can I have a motion to go into recess?
Motion to go into executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We are in recess. I'll accept the motion. We come back in out of recess.
Move that we come out of executive session?
Going back to motions approved that we're back in from executive session. Back in from recess. I would like to state that during the recess, the commission made no decisions on the personnel issues. The recess was basically called for myself. I had a lot of unanswered questions in regards to an item on the agenda today, and I needed to clarify some things before I felt comfortable enough to move on and make any further decisions. Earlier in the meeting, number 3 item was under consideration. It was the consideration of merger of 2 positions combining 911 director and OEM director into one position called 911 OEM director. We have that before us today. Is there a motion to do anything with this item?
Mr. President Pro Tem, there's a motion on the floor that says that I move to combine those 2 positions into one position, 911 director / OEM director. We currently have an OEM director who is Jeremy Ober, and I would like to add to my motion that we combine those 2 positions and move Jeremy into that position from his current position.
Is there discussion?
I would like
And I believe, I believe that also with that type of rearrangement of combining the 2, that is something that has already been checked on with the Ethics Commission, and there's not a problem with that. Correct?
That's my understanding also. I do have that in writing.
Okay.
I'd like to just speak to the fact that we are in a special meeting. We are not in a regular meeting. We had on this agenda some other decisions about personnel, and I don't feel like Commissioner Cowie not being present or this being a special meeting diminishes the importance of what we're doing today.
Agreed.
Okay.
The comments, any other further comments from either commissioner?
No.
I would like to speak to this issue myself. I give a little history here. 6 weeks ago or so, we have some general discussions, and we realized our director, Tracy Lemley, was going to be leaving her position at some point in time. We didn't know the exact date, and when we have a meeting with our department heads, during commission days, we talk about various things. There was some discussions, and there has been some discussions on what may happen at 911 when Tracy Lemley left her position. But nothing concrete at all. I would like to say that when I had an inkling that there was interest in hiring Jeremy Ober to create this position. Obviously, there was, because it's been alluded to that has been checked in to see if we could hire this individual, checked with the Ethics Commission to see if it was okay to hire from within. Myself as an individual, not taking anything at all away from Jeremy Ober and his capabilities, but I think when you have a position, when you're creating a new position, which is OEM director / 911 director. Again, not taking anything from Jeremy, but I believe that a position like this should have went out for advertisement. And I think that in saying that, it gives a whole room of individuals out there, whether they live right here in Hancock County or the Ohio Valley, the opportunity to at least expose themselves and show what their credentials are. I thought that we should have advertised for it, and that, to be quite honest with you, I'm the guy that's held this up today because I've had some serious questions and concerns, from budgetary numbers to be honest, we have on the agenda, and I speak very candid, I don't hold a damn thing back. And I'd like to say that we had on this agenda today, number 4, consideration of approval to advertise for a 911 dispatch director. At the same time, we had on here to hire the 911 director / OEM director. That tells me we were going to hire 2 people. When this agenda was done, there was going to be 2 people hired. And I was totally opposed to that. I don't think that we need a 911 / OEM director and a new 911 director. That's an overlap of government, and that's a waste of spending. No matter where the dollars come from, whether it's First Energy or Hancock County. In saying that, that has been taken off the table. I will not support, as we've done today, there was no action taken, and I cannot see myself supporting having 2 positions to oversee a 911 operation. We're a very small county. We have a lot of activity in Hancock County. We get a lot of calls in Hancock County, but I don't know if we need duplications of roles. And again, I apologize for taking up a lot of your time here today, but I just wanted to air my concerns about things that I think this commission should have done, and that is advertise, and 2, to make sure that we're not having a duplication of positions. And I wanted to call Jeremy myself, since I have not done so prior to today, and ask him his ability to handle the 911 as well as the OEM on his own, without obviously making maybe some changes from within the 911 system, giving some sort of direction or asking for support from within the ranks of the dispatchers that work there. But I am certainly not in favor of hiring additional people to manage 911. Again, I apologize for taking so much time, but I wanted to air my thoughts. If there's no further discussion, the motion on the floor is to hire Jeremy Ober as the position of 911 director and OEM director, combined position, at a salary of $75,000. And if I fail, I'm sorry, I'd like to say one other thing prior to my motion. For the record, and it's public record, Jeremy's salary is $59,940. So this would be an increase of approximately $15,000 to handle both positions. If no other jobs are created, then it would be a savings to the county. Motion is to hire Jeremy Ober for the position of 911 OEM Director at a salary of $75,000. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Moving forward, for the good of the order, Karen, anything from you? You're here, Aaron, from 911, and Stephanie is here from OEM. Anything from your offices today? Mr. Foley,
Nothing.
Mr. Clerk, Mr. Poling,
Yes, sir.
you're here. You're assisting George today with minutes?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Cowie, anything today?
Just want to remind everybody of the open air for the Hancock County Parks and Recreation on Gas Valley Road tomorrow, and that's from 12 to 5.
Thank you. Commissioner Check?
Mr. Lucas? Is he?
I'll get him.
Okay. No other business before me, thank you.
Mr. Lucas?
Everybody have a good weekend.
Okay, I have nothing.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. I'll accept the motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.